Hello everyone and welcome back to the FIA Manufacturer Series in 2019. It's round number 9. We're here at Monza in the Group 4 cars and you can see it is qualifying. So on the right hand side you can see we've had 2 fuel burning laps, and throughout the evening me and Jomas had been working together a little bit here just to help with slipstream and stuff. To be honest, slipstream doesn't help me a lot, especially in the first and second sector, because the TT on fresh tyres is the fastest car in those sectors. Nothing can beat the TT in those sectors. But even so, we were going to try it all the same, and John was just getting a bit loose there. But we're going to have a bit of a fatal decision here, and one that I kind of regret and wish I was on TeamSpeak with Jomas at the time, because I was saying, Jomas, go, 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 go. Just go, just go, just go, just go, just go. But unfortunately, Jomas is just going to pull in behind, go and brake behind Robbie. But that's going to bring in a load of guys behind who have been watching the earliest splits where me and Thomas had been working together. So Tidgney, LZR Thomas, they're all going to get in the slipstream here, and I think that was kind of costly a little bit in terms of us especially, but potentially Thomas as well, because it's a Jaguar guy behind us. We've got to be careful. So we'll leave that corner and we're actually going to go and do a qualifying one now. You can see everybody trying to get this slipstream. It would be good if they did remove slipstream or made it so that it was just you're the only person on track. I think in terms of qualifying, it stops some of this craziness that goes on. We've seen some really extreme cases where most of the field stops on the last corner just to try and grab someone's slipstream, and it is kind of dangerous. It's kind of annoying, it's frustrating. It's something that potentially should change. But we can see here we've got Jomas' slipstream. We're going to go with this little bit of teamwork here with Jomas as we head towards the first corner. And we're going to have a bit of an overspeed here. Now, we normally brake at the 150 meter board, but we're going to brake slightly early here where the colour change was in the track. And you can see we're lifting off the brakes a little bit here just because we broke a tiny bit too early. But even so, we accelerate out that corner. We still have Jomas in front of us. And this is actually the best qualifying run we'd had with slipstream, because all the other times we'd been right behind Jomas here. So we continue on towards the end of the first sector. And you're going to see here the problem. So we're going to have to bumper draft here a little bit with Jomas because we're just that good in this first sector here. And you can see we're 6 tenths up on the best, which puts us down at 56.3 at the moment in time. We come through the corner and again we're just a little bit behind Jomas here. We can't make up much ground as we come into this right hander here. We're going to really catch up to Jomas as well. You can see how close we get, so we're having to lift a little bit now. We're not getting the full speed out of the car as we go through Lesmo 1. We're coming to Lesmo 2. Again, we're just trying to get a bit of speed out of the corner. You see a few guys going to the right hand side. That's good sportsmanship there. Well played, guys. Everybody there as we continue on towards Ascari. Now, Ascari, the weakest part of the circuit for the front wheel drive cars. This is where we really struggled. It's why we were actually quite good in time trial, because we could literally, as you see, we're still purple at half temp up on Belling there. There's a puzzle on where we should be a little bit, but we come through here and we're going to have slipstream now towards the end of the lap. But Ascari is where the front wheel drive cars struggle a lot. In time trial, we absolutely blitzed the first and second sector, and in the practice races, we absolutely dominated there, especially in the first few laps. But we come towards the end of the lap now. We make that switch with Jomas as we come through the right hander of Parabolica and we head towards the line. We just did that slightly wrong here. We're going to head towards the line. Let's see what kind of lap time we're going to get here. Where are we going to start in qualifying? What kind of lap time? We're looking for a very low 56. Unfortunately for us, it's 56.5. It puts us in P2 at the moment, but a few guys behind have got the slipstream. They've got my slipstream as well, and this is where this really helps Jomas out a little bit. The TT is really strong here in the first sector. I said this before. We come into the braking zone now. You can see we get that turned in absolutely perfectly. We use that curb on the left hand side and we accelerate out as fast as humanly possible. And as we accelerate out, I'm assuming I'm going to look behind me. Just have a look. There we go. You can see Jomas hasn't really gained it in that first sector, or the first chicane, sorry. That's where the performance of the TT really matters. And the acceleration out as well. Look, Jomas is not catching that much. You saw how much we caught up to Jomas. This is where the difference is. And as we head towards the sector, look, we're purple. We're purple. What on earth's that about? As we come into here now, we nail that chicane. Lovely stuff. Through there we go. As we head up to Lesmo 1, you can see Jomas still hasn't caught up that gap yet. As we come into Lesmo 1, again, this is a very strong part of the circuit for the car. Remember, TT, a lot of downforce here, can get around these corners very quickly. Look, Jomas actually loses a significant amount of time there. So we come into the second part of Lesmo, and out we go. And you can see, look how far Jomas is back. So at this point, I've got to make the decision in my head. Is Jomas close enough? Do I have to let him go here? Because, again, Ascari, we're really slow. Or do I carry on through Ascari? I make the decision here to carry on through Ascari. Jomas is far enough behind where it won't actually matter. You see we're a 10.5 down now, so even though we were up beforehand and we did nail Lesmo 1 and 2, just lost a little bit of time there as we come through the Ascari section here. So now we're just going to give Jomas all the slipstream we can as we continue on. Jomas is going to then flash and then go for it, and then we're just going to pop in right behind Jomas here. And as we come in to Parabolica, you can see we nail Parabolica this time, unfortunately not on our fast lap, but round we go. We head towards the line. Steve Gaming gets a little bit quicker there, 56.350. Where's Jomas going to come in all of this? And Jomas doesn't quite get there, goes ahead of me though. Jomas gets, what's that, a 56.3. You see how close it is in the EMEA as well. I did check out the other, regions, and my word, EMEA is so close in quality sometimes. We do take it to extremes in the EMEA, of course, but it's just irritating sometimes, especially with this current point system. Let's have a look at the grid though. Let's have a look where everybody ended up. And you see Matty on P1 there, 56.0, very good lap time. Then we go to Steve Gaming, 56.3, 56.3 again, and then another 0.3. Then another 0.3. See how close this is? It's absolutely balmy. 0.4 now. Another 0.4 there for Key. And then we've just touched the 0.5s, which is where we ended up there. And look at that. We're not that far off P2 at all. We're less than 2 tenths, I think it is. And we're P2 to P10. I mean, what on earth is going on? You can see everyone's still in the 56s here. There's the first 57.001 there of Iceman going further back in the grid now. 57.0 still there. 57.6 for Aguila. Stefan 57.7. Stefan's had an awful quality there. Unaleska, a bit of a poor quality, in Cosmic, an absolutely diabolical one there. So we get ready for the race. Now this is the race highlights, of course. The live stream is in the description. Of course, there's a little bit of controversy in race 2, just because I felt that there should have been more teamwork there. I think potentially Key could have gained more positions. We've seen how fast the TT is in practice races and in the qualifying session there, just how fast it is in this first and second sector. But even so, we're concentrating on this race now. Let's see what happens. We're going to head towards the first corner. Obviously a cause of controversy this first corner as well. If you check the live stream out, we actually got wiped out in race 2, or nearly wiped out at least, by Tuscany as his foot slipped off the brake. But we go through here, all nice and fine. Everybody behaves themselves this time as we continue out the corner. But let's have a look at some TV camera action, shall we? There we go. Let's have a look at all these cars. I love the manufacturer series just for this. I mean, there's so many different types of cars in here. It's brilliant. It looks good. It's not a one-make race, and this is the epitome of Gran Turismo in my opinion. This is why I think this championship should be one of the feature championships. Look, we've got lots of different cars in here and it looks awesome. It's exactly what we want in Gran Turismo. So you see a few people running wide there at that first chicane. I'm not going to go for moves here. With the TT, it's all about survival. So in our practice races, we were continuously the fastest car until lap number 4. We were always in the 56s in the practice races in the first few laps. Nobody could actually keep up with the TT in the first few laps. It was that good. We could always break slipstream. We could always accelerate out of that first chicane absolutely sublimely, and that's why we were trying to do that. So in the first few laps, you try and push yourself, and then in a front-wheel drive car, you then just survive basically. And that's always the same in any race, and it's always beneficial for a lot of cars to let the front-wheel drive cars go. And you'll see this in the top 16 superstars especially. Let the front-wheel drive cars go, and then take advantage later on when their tyres are completely ruined and they're just useless. But we head towards the Parabolica here, and as we head round, we're still in the same position here. We come round the Parabolica, but we are actually going to advance a lap further on and jump back on board with myself. As you can see now, we're coming to the end of lap number 2. We skipped a little bit. Key actually got a penalty during that lap. I think it was for Ascari actually on the first lap. Just cut it a little bit too much. So we're going to head down here, and look at that little lag spike there. That scared the crap out of me, which is why I went for the move. I wouldn't have gone for that move otherwise, I don't think. Yeah, we're just going to have to go in there side by side. So round we go, and Snake's just going to run me a little bit wide here onto the gravel, but Snake does apologise there with the hazards. Just a mistake. Mistakes happen, and we continue on all the same. A part of me would have gone for the move, and a part of me wouldn't. As I say, that lag spike did scare the crap out of me, which is why I went for it in the end. Because, you know, under that braking, he could have broke at any moment, and you know, it's very close. A little weird lag spike. Not a very good one to have. But you can see that we just cut the chicane just a little bit too much. And I even say on stream that it's going to be a penalty. Really frustrating. See LZR Thomas up ahead in P5 there with the 1 second penalty as well. So we had every potential to gain positions here. And, you know, we could have been fighting for that P4 position potentially. That is a bit further ahead. I'm not sure we'd have been in the battle for P3. We'd have had to see later on. But we pull to the right hand side. If you guys don't run off the racing line here when they take their penalties, it's very frustrating that. It's not good sportsmanlike conduct. And a few guys did it, and you know, guys, just move to off the racing line. In this case, it was the right hand side of the circuit. Just get off the racing line. It is not fair, because if you unghost and somebody hits you, it's very bad sportsmanship. So make sure you clear the racing line, get off the racing line, take your penalty, and then return to racing. So we're going to continue on now. Iceman GTS, not somebody I've actually raced before. You can see we have actually fast forwarded this. We're not suddenly got nitrous. So not someone I've raced before, but you're going to see quite a few aggressive moves coming from Iceman, turning definitely into Kimmy. Kimmy likes a few aggressive moves occasionally, doesn't he? But still a chill guy. So we head towards the first corner here. And again, this is all about survival again. So you can see I'm just half braking here, just surviving. You see LZR Thomas and Manton have a bit of contact. Then there's a bit of contact on the exit. Manson goes in the gravel. That's going to give us a little bit of position here. As I say, the TT first sector dominates. Even on acceleration, nothing can really keep up with it once it gets going. Especially 4th, 5th gear is dominant, like ridiculously so. The gearing is amazing. So again, we're just going to come towards the chicane here. This is where you're going to see Iceman go for a potential move here on LZR Thomas. Bit of a dive there on that chicane. Not the best place to go for an overtake. You lose a lot of time. Fortunately, no track reset for LZR Thomas. That's going to give him the move. We're going to have a bit of a run here on Iceman. So we look to the right here. A little bit of a move there. I didn't quite like that, because it was like a move to get the bump. You know, the bumper speed there, didn't really like it, but even so, we continue on racing. Round there we go, and we're gonna continue now towards Ascari. Obviously, Ascari is where the car is the weakest, as I've said a few times now in this race. When we get to Ascari, it's all about just making sure we get around nice and cleanly, trying to minimize any time loss here. So you want to cut this little bit like that, get that bump to force you around a little bit, then come off the throttle and chuck it to the left, and Manson's going to get a good run on us here. Now, I've always said Parabolica is probably one of the most pointless places to overtake in this game, unless it's the last lap. The reason being is the car behind is literally just going to overtake you again on the main straight. So Manson goes for an overtake here, which I said on stream was a bit pointless as well. You can see Manson runs a bit deep, and I'm just going to take my racing line here. I'd have to come off it a little bit. Manson's ran extremely wide. You can see why it's a little bit pointless. We lost a little bit of time with that, but yeah, we just continue on all the same here. As I say, Parabolica during the middle of the race, not the best place to overtake. If there's a close battle, yes, you make positions. If it's like that, where we're trying to get the slipstream of the cars in front, I don't feel like it's a good move. Here, Fab makes a good move here. End of the start-finish straight. It's perfect. Here, you don't lose that much time. We actually gain on our opponents up front because they're fighting as well. So in that situation, I just backed off, let the car roll a little bit, save those tyres as best as we can. Remember, 100% braking will use a lot more tyre wear than just 50% braking or coasting or whatever it might be. Tyre wear is significantly made up of braking in this game, not apex speed. So, you know, if you keep that in mind, if you lower your braking a lot, you actually save a lot of tyres. So as we come into here, again, Iceman goes for a move on LZR Thomas into the chicane. LZR Thomas then forced Iceman out wide there, I think, which I think is fair enough after 2 hits or punts into that chicane. I mean, you know, when one doesn't work and you try it again, it's not going to work again. But we continue on. Fab's had a penalty for cutting the chicane like we did earlier on. Not quite as much of a penalty this time as we continue on. Again, doesn't take the racing line here. People need to take the racing line with these penalties, because you can see that the penalty ended as I'm right behind him. But because I have to go off racing line here, I could have potentially hit him if I tried to go through him. It's, yeah, I'd say I just feel that's a bit unsportsmanlike. Even so, we come through here now. And it wasn't just Fab, a few guys did it in this race as well. So we continue on out of there. And again, we're just surviving at this point. Lap number 5 is all about survival. We've got Manson behind us. This time Manson's not going to go for the move into the Parabolica. Actually going to play it a bit smart here. Obviously realised there it was a bit of a mistake to go for that move as we come into the right-hander. And round and round and round we go. And you're going to see then everybody behind start to get a bit of momentum here. So we're just outside that slipstream, so obviously everybody's going to come attacking us, all guns blazing. as we hit the start-finish line. Is Manson going to get the overtake done? Here you can see they've got that overspeed now. Again, this is a good move now. Fab's trying to follow as well. So Fab is trying to follow. Brakes a little bit early there, not to hit Manson, which is fair enough. We just try and pull in just inside of Manson. You could argue if that's a little bit dirty potentially, because I'm a little bit moving under the braking zone. But even so, we come out of that corner, all happy days. I went a bit tight on the inside as well. We're going to advance a lap further on. We're sort of in the same position at this moment in time. Manson's now got a 0.5 second penalty. So at this point, I just stayed behind Manson. I don't want to lose any time at all. But Manson goes defensive here. I'm not sure whether he thought I was going to go for it, but I wasn't going to go for it at that point. Someone's got a penalty in front of me. The only time I'm going to go for it is if you're ridiculously slow off a corner. I am not going to go for a dive at any point. So just a heads up for anybody in the future. Unless it's the last lap, of course. And potentially there's a move in there if you slow other people down behind. But yeah, the whole point here is you want to minimize your time lost in this race. A Monza race is all about minimizing time loss, not trying to get as many positions as you can as fast as you can, because there's always going to be slipstream and there's always going to be people battling. Great job by Manson moving off the racing line, by the way. Really good sportsmanship, so shout out for that one as we continue on up the hill now towards Ascari. We'll go down first, then up the hill, and again Ascari just chilling out a little bit here. We've just got to make sure we survive this. Look at that, up on our fastest lap. It does show you in the first few sectors we are super strong. It's just Ascari where we really struggle as we leave that corner now. A bit of oversteer. How many times do you see oversteer in a front wheel drive car? See, Fab is coming up behind. Does Fab want to go for the move? He looks to the inside at this point again. It's a little bit like, well, do you really want to go for that? So I brake early here. I don't want to lose time, and I can potentially get the move done as I leave here. But the Jaguar F-Type is one of those cars which actually has really good top speed. We saw in an earlier round earlier this year with Steve Gaming, the top end of the Jaguar is ridiculously good. So we're going to look towards the inside now, because it's last lap. At this point you're fighting for positions. We're not going to catch that pack up ahead, and you see Tidgney now trying to go down the inside as well at this moment in time. So we're going to go for late braking. The Audi TT perfect for late braking here, and we're going to go side by side with Fab here. So me and Fab side by side here, and a little bit of contact. I'm not sure if the barrier actually had an impact there. I never noticed that before. A little bit of contact. That forced me into the gravel a little bit here, so we pull in right behind Fab. I think if we'd have had a clean run out that corner, it would have been fine. Fab tried to close the door a little bit there, but I was sort of on the edge on the inside here, so we head towards the chicane. Fab's just got the overrun here, so it's time to brake a little bit early here. Try and pull in behind Fab and see if we can make positions up elsewhere. Lovely clean bit of defending there by Fab as we continue on out of that corner, and we head towards Les Mill 1 once again. And we just brake a little bit early here. Again, maintaining speed. So you can see how good the TT is here. We've got tyre wear and we're still staying right behind Fab during that corner as we continue on now again towards the right hander. Through we go. See, Manson's actually overtaken Tidgney at this point as well. We continue on up to Ascari. So at this point, Fab has pretty much settled that P10 position. So a good move at the Parabolica, played to the strength. So we had that weird little lag spike again. So I wouldn't go for a move at Ascari. So Fab we get that weird lag spike. So I'll just try and stick it to the right basically, and you know, keep it clean here. Try and maintain some speed. Run it a little bit deep there. Try and catch it. Manson's gonna have a really good run on me here now. Now Parabolica, last lap. This is a perfect place to go for a move in my opinion at this moment in time as we continue on down towards the Parabolica for one last time. Tidgney's going to go to the inside, so I'm stuck in the middle of an opposite Moses maneuver here. So we come into the braking zone. Manson just tries to turn in here. Not sure whether he's aware that Tidgney's on my inside. I didn't know where to go at that point. I can't give, like, literally turned into Manson turned into myself, which turned into Tidgney. It's just a case there. 3 into 1 definitely doesn't go. You got to leave a little bit more space there. Potentially didn't realise that Tidgney was on the inside, so we get P12 in the end. I do feel like we could have been fighting for that victory potentially with all the guys there, but even so it didn't happen, so it is what it is. We finished P12 in this one. Great job by Jomas. Jomas was actually on for the victory, but an unfortunate bump on the last lap. Literally not like a bump as in punt off, but a bump as in literally someone behind bumped somebody else, actually caused Jomas to lose that position. You can see there 3 wide again. You can see 3 into 1 just doesn't go. But guys, that's going to be it for me now in this video. Thanks very much for watching. Again, as always, leave a comment if you liked it, like the video, or if you like it, dislike it. But if you do dislike it, just let me know what you dislike and I'll look to improve it in the future. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video, which is the top 16 Superstar highlights, which will be coming very soon. Ciao.